It's currently 1:30 p.m., 1:17 p.m., 1:26 p.m., and again at 1:30 p.m., the LAPD is now concentrating their helicopter activity directly over my apartment. And in the same way that the light source is directly over my head as I'm at my leasing office, and it's directly over my head as I walk to my apartment, which you'll see in still images, this is the identification of demons who are engaging in psychotic stalking repeatedly by the minute in a helicopter as they are exceedingly hostile to what I'm documenting. This is the light source over me. This is the P.O.C. And these are demons that are at the LAPD that are going to be disbanded, and they are literally flying over 1:17 p.m., then 1:26 p.m., and now again 4 minutes later at 1:30 p.m. While I'm inside of my bedroom, and I just finished uploading a bunch of documentation showing you the light source that's over my head. Again, what I was stating over the weekend while I stayed at my apartment, and during approximately around 12:50 p.m., that time frame, this is where the light source was. It was over my head right here. This location over my head right here at my apartment, I cannot see building 1810. I can't see any skyspace. And this is what I mean. I'd be over there. I wouldn't even see it. Okay. That light source was over me at my leasing office, and it follows right here to be over my head at the front of my apartment. And this is the same property where in the morning, 6:45 in the morning, when those demons are engaging what is a provision of a wealth of documentation showing that they're, first of all, demons, and that they're also engaged in what is stalking in helicopters. Both of those are all all modes of legally relevant evidence against the state of California and the Los Angeles Police Department. You are understanding what is also demonic activity. The sun's not going to be rising over this hillside at any time ever in the morning and still be at the same address, which I'm facing the hillside, the so-called east. It's also not going to be directly above my head while it's over the roof of the Upland Public Library, while it's over me at the Chino Branch Library in Chino, California. Again, remember, when I'm en route to those venues, the entity's keeping the light source over me in alignment to me, literally while I'm on the bus and the bus is driving, the light source keeps in alignment with me. While I've already documented that, and then the entity's keeping the light source over me. Arriving, and I put that in air quotes, the light source is unveiled. The clouds are moved and the light source is unveiled right above my head at my leasing office around the corner at 1810 North Alvarado Street. And the entity is maintaining a light source at the same time where I am, 1:32 p.m., maintaining presence in an entirely different region in the same manner. This is also where the entity is engaging in what is stalking in helicopters, where you're looking at the sunset last night in 2022 at 6:32. The Ontario Police are group stalking at the Ovid Family Community Library in a helicopter. Literally the exact same thing that the Los Angeles Police Department were doing at around the same time while I was inside of my apartment at the same time, 6:40 in 2024. And the entity is group stalking in a helicopter. That's literally why I started capturing that video. And then you looked at evidence that already exists, which is literally the identical pattern of conduct. These are demons that are having a field day going psychotic. All right, Selena Robledo is going to federal prison. That's what that's directly pointing to. She's engaged in federal stalking on the venue of the internet. That's a separate grounds for, I want to be clear, federal stalking by the state that's keeping you under surveillance. The language of that statute speaks to, the punishment for engaging in that crime. It does speak to the contingency of how severe it is. It does not get any more severe than state surveillance by a corrupt government. Doing so even in the workplace, which is a threat to your livelihood, your ability to support yourself, the ongoing immeasurable amount of stress that you're subject to while this criminal conduct, which is already a threat to your life, and you're talking about what is unfathomable with regard to what the target individual is facing on an ongoing basis by everyone all the time, and it's occurring in the workplace. And then these are psychotic demons who are doing so with an entity that's flying over your office, okay, flying over your head. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because that's a separate grounds of federal prison, and she's engaged in federal stalking. She's gonna be prosecuted for that as well. The entity is providing ongoing evidence against her while I capture this light source over my head, and video evidence of the entity engaging in what is psychotic, life-threatening criminal conduct in concert with the people, including specifically Selena Robledo, who I go in depth with regard to her criminal conduct, which is harassment by that entity. That entity is the same one flying over my apartment, which the pattern of conduct is to threaten your life more, to threaten you, intimidate you, harass you more, using demons that are affiliated with corrupt law enforcement agencies to stalk in helicopter while they're living in relevant position, which is the P.O.C., doing so in a specific environment on an ongoing basis. This is the entity that's doing so. I want to be clear while the light source is remaining here. All right? This is group stalking in your face. Right, everybody that lives at the crime scene is going to federal prison, and that is again Jong Kim. They're going to be shipped out of here, going back to Korea, where they can monitor their whatever it is, what they do there. He's monitoring, moving in the light source. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is a criminal system right in front of your face, and that's LAPD's alternative to flying over by helicopter. Understand that. That's what they opted to do instead of flying over by helicopter again, because that's exactly what they were doing. Him and his mother are out of this country after they're federally prosecuted, and they're going to federal prison. Okay, it is currently 1:35 p.m. and that's documented malice and impunity, acting in concert with the third party Selena Robledo, who's on the venue of the internet, engaging in the same surveillance system in concert with that corrupt law enforcement agency, who's providing evidence against her, speaker companies, and all of the people of the state. And all 59 units here are going to federal prison. All right, it is currently 1:35 p.m. That was again Jong Kim. That's called impunity. While you're watching the entity engage in, and this is all happening on his watch, I'm going to civilly and criminally prosecute him. The entity is, again, Jong Kim is a third-party group stalker who is monitoring in plain sight. This is called crossing a path activity creation, and these are the mentally ill, and that's speaking to what is psychotic, not mental illness with regards to ignorance, the inability to perceive or understand or appreciate the criminality of your conduct, the way it affects someone else. It's the direct opposite of that. It is intentionally designed to psychologically torment and harass, intimidate, and threaten, also maliciously. And as you can see clearly in your face, this is the audacity, the boldness to do it. Everything that is engaged in that you just witnessed right now, walking down the stairs is crossing path light activity creation while a light source. That's nowhere near a Chino Branch Library in Chino, California, which is where I remained yesterday. It's the pattern of conduct. It would never be the sun that's here at any time of day because of the sunset that's present at the Ovid Family Community Library, as I documented yesterday in 2022 after 6:30 p.m. And I'm at that same Ovid Family Community Library at 8 o'clock in the morning. There is no provision that the sun is going to be directly over my head at that, but never going to be over any apartment, over any property, over any hillside at any time of day in Los Angeles. What is the hallmark in that specific environment, which is not the natural environment? The state is stalking in helicopters, okay? And that's exactly what you saw the Ontario Police Department, as I documented, as you saw on video yesterday evening. And this is what the LAPD is doing now. So again, after 12:24 p.m., I walked to my apartment. The entity, this hostile entity that's psychotic, this is the public safety concern, is repeatedly flying over my apartment 3 times in a row. So I captured video because Selena Robledo is going to federal prison for this. And this is attributed to the people of the state. Like I said, Jong Kim is being documented at the same time, but I'm going to hone in on the third-party group stalker who's specifically being documented, and the entity acts on behalf of a whole entity. When you document a demon, the entity will exact revenge to its own demise. And so I will by name reference the third-party group stalker who was documented, and I go into depth with regard to her criminal conduct on the venue of the internet on behalf of an entity exhibiting the psychopath that she is. This is not name calling. This is by virtue of literally looking at in plain sight the criminal system. And these are demons that are psychopaths stalking me in a helicopter, flying over my apartment now, not flying over my office, not flying in front of my office like you saw at the same time I was sending an email, flying right over my apartment. It is currently, again, 1:38 p.m. and what you want to pay attention to is Jong Kim is of 1806. Let me see, Jong Kim of 1806, apartment number 5. They are, again, granted, I believe, naturalization from Korea. Korea is going to take them back. They're not welcome. They are out of here, but they're going to sit in federal prison first. And they're going to be documented sex offenders and terrorists acting in concert. They're, again, going to be documented as engaging in exactly what they are. They're engaged in terrorism, and they're going to be booted out of the country because of their act of terrorism with the state of California. A domestic enemy, and they will never return after they serve time in federal prison, her and her son. Understand what LAPD was doing, monitoring me through those elements, using that crossing a path and walking under while the light source is over me. That's exactly what LAPD is doing in a helicopter. You're looking at the elements of monitoring, not on the surface, somebody walking by. That's light activity, crossing a path, audible activity, while I'm in operation of my communication device. While an entity is all together witnessing me expose them, that's a psychopath, a sex offender that's watching you document and continues to engage in that sexual violence. Is hostile because you're revealing the fact that they're a sex offender and that they're a stalker, okay? That's what Jong Kim is exhibiting. Jong Kim is the entity. Jong Kim is a terrorist, okay? The same analysis for all of the people of the state. It is currently, again, 1:39 p.m. and this is P.O.C.